But you know what I do want to do? I want to talk about a little film called Overboard. So let's get into it. I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Sadak.
Chris Cabin.
Eric Siska.
And we hate movies. Welcome to We Hate Movies. Thank you for tuning in. As always, this week, like I said up top, we're talking Overboard. It's from 1987, directed by the late, great Garry Marshall.
R.I.P.D., man.
Totally, dude. Did he get Farina? No.
No,
you can't have the Oscars without Garry Marshall.
I think they put a statue out in front.
You don't win an Oscar, you win a Garry.
You drove by his tombstone as everybody was pulling into the Dolby Theater.
No, man, there's like a tomb. You know,
not
he's
just interred.
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
With Fonzie's jacket.
Oh, no, that's in the Smithsonian. I saw that in real life.
It's all glass like Lennon.
Oh, man.
Oh, that'd be great if he's just floating formaldehyde.
He's standing up, giving a thumbs up. I almost said, well, I guess it would be mounting it like taxidermy.
I will say the best.
I'd mount him.
One of the best. When I released my book on great straight men, there's going to be a big chapter on Garry. Garry Marshall in defending in Lost in America.
Oh, he's the casino owner,
not giving Albert Brooks back his money, and he's just like, we don't do that. It's Las Vegas gambling. You do gambling. You lose your money, you go. It's like it's the best.
He's awesome. This movie isn't awesome though. As we also know, sharing the opinion is Tim from Massachusetts. He called in to have this to say.
Hey guys, this is Tim from Massachusetts. I'd like you guys to do an episode on 1988's Overboard, starring Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. This is a movie my sister loved when I was a kid, and I hate it. I think it's a horror movie, and I wish more people would see what a terrible, wretched person Kurt Russell is in this movie. Love the show. Thanks. Bye.
Yeah, Tim, you're right. I think this is like you could have pulled. Listen. Here's how you do it. You could have pulled one of them their alternate trailers where you put in some creepy music.
I'd say pull the music, pull Ed Herrmann. You got a Lars von Trier movie.
Oh yeah, this is Dogville. This is
very similar to Dogville.
Wait a minute. Why is also the late great Ed Herrmann? Would you mow his lawn?
One summer, yes.
Why is Edward Herrmann being left out? He's just because
he's just too comical and charming in a Lars von Trier movie.
You know who would have been great in that role, by the way? Not that Edward Herrmann isn't fine.
Willem Dafoe.
No,
Hector Elizondo.
No, fuck Hector Elizondo.
Whoa.
No, I don't like this. I gotta have cameos in all the movies. It bothers me. No. The great Stephen Tobolowsky. Tobo would have been great in this role as the husband.
Oh, I was going to say, if this was a Von Trier movie, there would definitely be at least 1 to 2 characters played by Stellan Skarsgård. So you got to have that.
Well, the husband would definitely be Stellan Skarsgård.
I was saying Willem Dafoe. I thought he could also do
it.
He shows up.
Willem's got to be the Kurt Russell role, though. I feel.
You could bring Kurt Russell in, man.
He's game. We're in the Kurt Russell renaissance right now.
Are we?
He's in that Fast and the Furious movie now.
Is that a renaissance?
But he was in the.
He's making money, assance.
Bone Tomahawk, man. Great movie.
That is great. Yes,
I rewatched Hateful Eight not 2 days ago.
That's true.
Great movie.
Does that hold out?
Yeah, it does.
Nice.
It's got to be snowing, though, and you got to have a little bit of whiskey.
Yep. Yeah, you do.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good call. Well, maybe we'll get another snowstorm. I can rewatch it.
That's the move.
Pray we don't.
Yeah, no, that's also true. I'll wait till next year to rewatch that movie. That's fine.
Wait till next year.
So this movie was like a box office smash.
It was big.
There are I hate to interrupt you again, Steve. I'm sorry, but I feel like
Steve, shut up.
We're in for email town.
Because
people
love this movie.
I did a thing on Facebook where I was like, I'm watching this movie and I got blindsided by a terrible Randy Newman song, which we'll address later. And all these people were like, I like that movie. That's my favorite movie. That movie's hilarious. I was like, wake up call, America. Here we go.
You know, there's a lot of sociopaths in the United States of America.
Man, isolate that fucking clip.
I will say that it's obviously it's okay to like a movie, and
Sure.
because there's people that it's probably their first episode, right?
Possible.
Chris? Right?
Possible.
You think someone right now, this is their first episode of We Hate Movies, is watching Overboard?
It's my first episode.
Someone was on the overboards, searching around.
Oh, what a low point for Reddit.
There was a little post of like, who's talking Overboard this week, and then this fat guy podcast showed up.
A lot of people like this movie, and it's definitely creepy. There's a weird, dark, villainous undercurrent. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
But I feel like the chemistry of Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn make the movie work.
It's unmistakable.
Goldie Hawn, there's no better career you could have,
Nope.
right? Like,
Nope.
She's won an Oscar. She killed TV on Laughing. She was a box office sensation for 30 years.
Totally.
She could open. I don't even think there's a parallel anymore. Like, who's the actress now that's Goldie Hawn?
Comical.
That can
Nobody.
just open a fucking movie.
Nobody.
No,
Not there's no
they
Goldie Hawn.
broke the mold when they made her.
they did. I'm gonna. Yeah.
They did. No, she's great.
Then it's unfortunate though. Then you think about titles like the Banger Sisters. Wasn't that
There's a
Goldie Hawn?
lot of
Sisters.
shit. There's just
Of course.
Yeah.
Well, she's got. Let me tell you what looks terrible. She's
That
got,
Snatched.
Yeah, she's got that
Holy
movie with
moly.
Amy Schumer coming out, Snatched.
Oh right.
I
It
don't know
looks
anything about this.
doggone terrible.
It's her playing Amy Schumer's mother, and then they get kidnapped. I want to
Joan
say.
Cusack's around.
Well,
Yeah.
wait, Joan Cusack?
Yeah.
I like that.
I like Joan Cusack.
yeah, no, but this movie looks like a bag of turds.
Does
man.
not look good.
Well,
Yeah,
you can't win them all.
but this era, this 1987 Goldie Hawn.
Yeah, this is the
is
golden.
the height of Hawn.
80s into early 90s. Yeah, it was a renaissance.
I feel like she didn't even need to buy Coke. People just gave it to her. Like, hey, Goldie Hawn, you did great in that
Coke?
movie. Yeah, Coke.
Oh, I was hoping you said Coke. For a second, I thought you said coat.
No,
She doesn't even have to buy coat.
no.
For a second, I thought you said Pepsi.
No,
People keep giving her coat.
Look, in the 80s, we did cocaine. It's back now, but back then, it was where it was at.
Listen,
I don't think it ever went away.
there's a lot of young listeners. A lot of people are being reared on this show right
Sure.
now.
It's okay.
That's
fair.
bad
Yeah.
parenting.
Let's just say, don't do cocaine.
From the ground, pound it down, man.
So we start on a one of many montages in this.
So many montages.
This one's this is living Oregon. You know what I mean? It's a Pacific Northwest. We're cutting fish. We're chopping trees.
chopping trees down, wearing flannel.
I love it. It looked beautiful.
It does.
I'm excited to explore the Pacific Northwest. And this town is called Elk Cove, which combines my two favorite things, wild animals and beautiful coves where water is.
That's great. Do you know if it's a real town?
No.
I don't believe so.
No, you don't know, or no, it's not a real town.
I don't know, but did you notice there's one section when they're doing the TV broadcast of the news guy?
Oh, yeah.
And the guy on the news accidentally says Elk Grove. And then the rest of the scene's Kurt Russell, I think, rummaging around this diner or whatever, and he's just and it addresses the actor addresses. He's like, now when I said Elk Grove, I meant Elk Cove, of course.
Man, if this was the real world, that would make one of those YouTube newscaster blunder reels.
Hey, can I read you an entire Wikipedia page?
Yes, please.
Elk Cove, Oregon.
Nice.
Elk Cove is a meadow in Mount Hood, in the Mount Hood Wilderness on the north side of Mount Hood in the United States of state of Oregon. It is a popular backpacking area along the Timberland Trail. In popular culture, location of the movie Overboard film starring Kurt Russell and Goldie Hawn. End of Wikipedia page.
Well, the legends are true.
Yeah.
Wow, how about that?
That's awesome. We're going.
All right.
And then there's
Make a pilgrimage.
all over this movie. The
All overboard this movie.
yes,
We're going to go there, Chris, and we're going to dump our wives in honor.
all of Oingo Boingo covering the Deliverance soundtrack.
Dude, here's what it is. I'm calling this hillbilly new wave.
Sure.
Okay.
Because it's
Which is
like
awesome.
it's kind of like an 80s new wavy synth thing, and then someone is just picking a banjo. What the fuck? It's terrible and awesome at the
Well,
same time.
you're at a Coke party with Steve Martin in the 80s.
Oh, guaranteed.
And then there's a slide guitar going too at the same time. It's a lot, man.
it's a lot to take in. This movie doesn't let up.
There's this it's this one song when she gets into like being Kurt Russell's prisoner there.
Yeah.
And she like really starts getting into it, getting things done. You hear the song, and then later you see that band perform this song.
What a stank ass, greasy looking fart rock band if I ever saw one.
It's kind of like Fart House Blues a little bit.
It is Fart House Blues big time, and you could smell these guys.
Is that a Michael Caine movie?
We all got the Fart House Blues.
He did the Cider House Rules, and now he's in the Fart House Blues.
My career's gone down the drain. Doing Fart House Blues.
All right, now I got gas, and my wife put me in the fart house, and now I have the Fart House Blues. It's me and the dog.
Good night, babes of Elk Cove.
Damn it.
Oh, did I beat you
Yes.
too? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's
I steamrolled right over
It's
you.
quite all right.
Like the logging industry in this movie.
So this movie starts. Kurt Russell is just like a guy, a carpenter.
He's a Kurt Russell. I mean, this is the prime Kurt Russell character.
Mm-hmm.
It's manual labor. You're sweating like a pig. You're constantly drinking bad beer, feet up all the time. The boxes are checked.
It's fucking great.
Lying all over.
You know
yes.
what box is checked? He doesn't wear sleeves for the first 23 minutes of this movie.
And
I
why
clocked
would
it. I
you?
clocked it.
And why should he?
The first time he wears sleeves is to trick someone into thinking he's Goldie Hawn's husband.
Oh, that's right. When he has to go to the police station or like the mental ward, he's like, better dress up for this grift.
Exactly. He
Put
put
my
on his
fancy duds on.
his grifted coat.
And that long sleeve shirt is, of course, red and black check flannel.
Sure, of course
What
it
else
is.
would it
Dude,
be?
his wardrobe is great in this. But also, since we're talking about him, I've got a big question about his past. in
Hang
this
up on
movie.
him.
Wait, Kurt Russell's past or the character's past?
Ooh, the characters.
Okay.
He's supposed
He's a widower.
He's got 4 kids. Yes,
Widower.
that is what I want to know.
Yeah.
This man is vile enough to abduct women from a psych ward.
Yeah.
How did that first wife?
Oh, she died in a drunken ATV accident, guaranteed.
Yeah, that's the fucking cover story. is
He
what
does
I'm
not
saying.
shed one tear for this wife. She
No.
comes up a couple times, and you
And
do
it's
need in
only
this.
been 3 years.
In this movie, you need that, and then hits you.
You don't.
But
Nobody wants to put a photo on a fucking dresser somewhere.
at
Thank
what
you,
point
Chris.
can he
Thank
talk
you.
about dead Nancy?
Yeah, I mean, or like to what's his face, our friend from Wayne's World.
Oh, that guy who's also I think he's like the super on Friends.
Dude, he gathers around with his kids, you know.
Let's talk about your dead mother.
Well, those kids need to talk about dead mothers.
It's your classic 1980s gaggle of monster children that all talk at the same time. It's
Here it is.
Thank you very much, Steven Spielberg.
Well, come on. We all lived it, dude.
That's also
Don't-
true. I knew
don't
these
pretend.
kids.
Don't pretend this is
I
fake.
was one of these monsters.
Exactly.
I've met the Sadak clan. My God in heaven.
Yeah, you guys were all spitting in the yard, doing all sorts of shit.
It actually, you want to talk about checked off boxes? You have all of them for this cadre of monsters because it's weird twins, a creepy one that's defective, and a fat one. There it is.
Yeah.
Boxes checked.
And one's an inventor. One's a
yeah,
little
but- yes.
inventor. Obviously, you
What?
need your little inventor.
I must have missed.
Oh,
that
he's
part.
making little like doodads and gadgets and
Rube
whatnot.
Goldberg's here and there.
Oh yeah.
So,
Is that the kid from Pet Cemetery too?
yes, Jared Rushton, who's in everything.
Big.
He owned the 80s.
Yeah, and all these.
I don't
kids-
know if he owned the 80s. Was
He's
he
a-
ever invited to the
He
Viper
was
room?
in an '80s timeshare, at least.
All these other kids owed the 80s.
Wait, which
They
kid
did
was he in
nothing
Pet
else.
Cemetery too? The fat friend?
No, he's the bad guy that
He's
gets
the one
killed.
who gets the tire to the
Oh,
face.
right.
The kid
I
from
thought he looked
Big.
familiar. Oh, yeah. Oh, okay.
And he's in Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I mean, that's a career.
he's the
Other kid.
little Russ?
Yeah,
The one
little
who was
Rusty.
closest to the ant.
Right. Does anyone know currently right now which Best Buy he's working at?
86th Street.
Oh, is he really?
No, he's working.
City boy.
He's working the one in Maryland that was implicated in the first season of Serial.
Oh, does he know what happened to that telephone?
I don't.
booth?
No one does. No one. He was off that time.
He's blowing smoke in the alley.
So Kurt Russell is a carpenter. He gets hired by Goldie Hawn. She is married to Edward Herrmann. Roddy McDowall is their butler.
Yeah.
and is the executive producer of this movie.
It's like, I'll give you money for it, but also I get to play a weird effete butler.
Well,
in the
that's the
movie.
thing is he sold his life rights to Garry Marshall to make this movie.
Oh, he's
Wait, do you think? What really?
Wow, you think Roddy McDowall perpetrated such a scam?
I think it's
Gee,
possible.
he was loaded up with that ape money.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, he
that's
had
true.
to
He didn't need
Filled
to
to
do
the
shit.
brim. Do you think anyone's life has been as completed or more completed by fucking people in ape suits than Roddy McDowall?
No, not at all. Like he was the ape suit guy, and honestly, he's great. He's Cornelius, right?
He's Cornelius.
He's fucking great.
He's not in all of those sequels, is he?
I think he is. I think he's
Does he
like
make all of them?
I think he's a through line.
I'll tell you what, when the last Apes movie came out, which, by the way, I saw the trailer for the new one, and Woody Harrelson got a line in there where I laughed my tits off.
This will be a planet of apes.
And I just went, ha, 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 ooh.
Oh, I laughed too, but I'm like, yeah.
I'm definitely still checking it out.
For one, please.
But that ticket for one, indeed. Oh, yeah.
Wife's staying home for this one.
Oh, yeah.
No, she'll come. She'll come, or she'll go overboard.
No, when that second, so was it Rise then?
Yeah, it was Rise into Dawn.
Yeah.
Which one's the second one?
Dawn
is the second
Dawn
one?
of the Planet of Apes.
During that second one, I rewatched all the OG ape flicks. I got to tell you, man, that's a solid franchise.
It is.
It's weird as fuck, but it gets
them.
good.
Yeah.
They're good.
Ricardo
They're not bad.
Montalbaum is a circus owner.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
What? Yeah.
Oh,
Dude. Go ape.
I think I got a summer project coming out.
Dude, I went ape shit because I was doing that. I had the TV show. I was doing the cartoon. I had ape hysteria. No one else did.
No. I had ape hysteria. Actually, when I was living in Astoria, and I had a surly plumber come over to fix my bathtub.
He looked like Cornelius.
He did, but I was also watching that movie the entire time he was there. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm just going to watch this Planet of the Apes movie while you do this.
I was going to say, did he bathe his ape while he fixed it?
So speaking of bathing apes, Kurt Russell's all sweaty in this movie. So he's hired to come on this yacht.
The Immaculata.
Owned by Edward Herrmann, R.I.P.D.
I feel like they're dodging taxes or something because he does not want to be on dry land anymore.
He does not. That's a great point.
International waters for that dude, man. He's doing all sorts of shit.
But this is clearly hiding out, though, because, I mean, no offense to the great 400 people that live in Elk Cove, but...
Did you get a population on that Wikipedia?
That's what I was really curious about. He didn't mention it. I guess it's not on
It's a
there.
bit of a small Wikipedia.
I bet it's like 1,000.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it's a cool, pristine town. Why on earth would these rich people dock there? If not for dodging something. Maybe it's murder, racketeering, cocaine, I mean, something.
But also the thing is, like, why don't they, I guess because they're in Elk Cove, but like, rich people hire, there are rich carpenters you go to. You know what I mean? You don't get a
carpenters.
Okay, go, please.
No, like
Jesus?
A high-end.
No, Jesus was not rich. He was famously poor.
He's probably Jesus is the most fucking famous poor person of all time. What are you talking about?
I mean, by now I think he's amassed a fortune.
Dude, Jesus is. Jesus
you know
is,
what he has? He's not going to see a fucking dime from it, though.
Jesus is so poor. I would have taken his Obamacare away. Because fuck that guy. Get a job.
That's true.
Get a fucking job.
It's very true.
But high-end carpenters is what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
like a carpenter for the rich. They
Like
know
the
how to
best,
deal with the rich.
The most luxurious of carpenters.
Donald Trump. He's not letting fucking Kurt Russell in his fucking stupid gold house.
I don't know. Kurt Russell's kind of the kind of carpenter that's easier to rip off and not pay.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I think he would really, really enjoy what he does here.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Because Donald Trump has done this to contractors.
So
And to women.
She yes.
Bravo.
She hires him. She's like, "Oh, I need a closet on my boat," and like, you know, Kurt Russell's like, "Closet on a boat, get out of here!" You know, like one of those. That's kind of the movie we're doing here. You know, like
Yeah, he is kind of dumbfounded by the situation.
we're rolling our eyes at indoor plumbing. You know, that kind of a deal.
It is charming as fuck. I was watching Kurt Russell in this movie, and I'm like, wait, why am I unbuttoning my shirt? I'm watching a movie. He is amazing in this movie.
He's really great, but I'll tell you what's like what they're doing here with Goldie Hawn and Edward Herrmann's characters. These are like cartoon rich people.
Yeah.
Like at one point, Roddy McDowall comes out to like spoon feed her caviar, and there's this whole gag about like caviar has got to be stiff and it's got to pop and it's stiff and round and explode in your mouth. And Kurt Russell's like, somebody talking about sucking dicks. I work at a bowling alley too.
Let me just keep making a closet on a boat.
Closet on a boat.
You tell me, rich lady. But so He does, and
he does a fantastic job.
he makes it out of oak, and of course, I mean, and this is a bit on Kurt Russell, I think.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because he makes it out of oak, and Goldie Hawn's like, "Oh my God, you idiot! It should have been made out of cedar." Now, granted, she as the customer probably should have been like, "Hey man, make me a cedar closet." But you know, you order materials, you got to be like, "Hey lady, I just want you to sign off real quick." You know, you don't have to hold her by the hand, but just like, this is going to be this material.
Yeah,
this is why you get the rich person carpenter.
Exactly. He does that all the time.
Well, because I feel like Kurt Russell's the kind of carpenter in this movie. He's just stealing scraps from a boneyard. It's like whatever he could find to make this.
Whatever coffin he can break down.
She's walking around in a swimsuit that makes her look like Gaddafi, and like
no, it doesn't make her look like Gaddafi. It makes her look like one of Gaddafi's wives.
Well, no, she has the full shoulder pads in general.
Oh, that part.
Yes.
I thought you were talking about the thong bottom.
No,
and I was like, show me a picture of Muammar Gaddafi, and that I'll give you a
She's working both sides.
I could show you a fucking video where it looks like he's wearing a thong. Is when they murder him in the street. Don't they shove shit up his ass?
Yeah, they shoved a bunch of shit up his ass.
Wowza.
Yeah, no, that happens, Steve. That's how dictators fall.
Oh, speaking of that, and you were saying cartoon rich people earlier, and Gaddafi being murdered in the street reminded me of this. This could have used a cartoon intro.
Yes. Yes. A cartoon intro of Gaddafi being murdered in the street.
Yeah, it's like they're just predicting the future.
Yeah.
Well, then you would.
But like, you know, like falling off a boat, lady picked up by a man.
Oh yeah, well, and I could see because it's a cartoon thing, right?
yeah.
She falls off the boat, she's in the water, then a bunch of cartoon fish like bring her back up to the surface.
There's a bunch of tugboat noises.
Oh sure,
She's in the house.
Oh,
There's
yeah,
a whirlwind of cleaning or
little
something.
birdies around her head to indicate the amnesia.
We cut to a cartoon shot of a cartoon tombstone, and it's Kurt Russell's cartoon dead wife.
And it's him not visiting it.
And that's half of the intro.
Yeah.
Well, she's clearly in a fucking Folgers Crystals cup like Donnie from Big Lebowski. Come on.
So she refuses to pay him.
Refuses.
She's like, you built this out of cedar, you idiot. Everybody knows you build it out of oak or whatever, however the fucking thing works out.
Which it's like, first of all, it's not everybody knows.
No,
Just say,
yes.
I wanted.
Yes, that's it.
Clearly not everybody knows, because if everybody knew, fucking Kurt Russell would have done it right in the first place.
It's a shoe closet, to Kurt Russell's credit. You know,
Yes.
the cedar is more of a garment thing, right?
Well, she's something about moths, and he's like, "Hey, lady,
There's
not a
no-
lot of moths in the Pacific Northwest."
Yeah, there's no
I don't know if
moths
that's
there.
true.
I don't think that's
I've
true.
only been out there one time. Did not see a moth, but that doesn't mean they're not out there.
Checks out, though. You see a Mothman out there?
I saw a couple of Mothmen. I made some prophecies about it.
You stayed off them bridges, though, right?
I stayed right off them bridges.
I would just avoid Richard Gere wholesale.
I kind of would do that anyway.
We're actually going to Bridgetown, I think Portland, right? I think they have a lot of bridges.
Oh, well, checks out.
That's what I heard.
What were you saying, Steve? Sorry.
No, so basically this is the inciting incident of the movie,
of
Eric,
course.
Wherein she basically...
She seizes the means of production and tosses her to his tools off the boat.
She doesn't do it. He curses her out, kind of verbally assaults her a little bit, you know.
Listen, it's a therapeutic telling off.
Yeah, but his finger's getting real close to her throat. That's what's happening.
He's not hitting her, though.
Yeah, okay.
Dude, Steve.
Objection, Your Honor. Objection, Your Honor.
Steve.
He's not hitting her, though.
Yeah, he let her off with a warning.
Yeah, I guess.
I can see that as a bumper sticker now.
Yeah, I guess. You know what, Eric? I'll take your word for it.
No.
What's
you're
shitty,
right,
though,
you're
is
right,
like,
you're right.
it's over a matter of $600, which you'd think Goldie Hawn is so rich in this movie, she would just, like, you know,
But that's
pull that out of her toilet.
Ed Herrmann lines his underwear with that much money.
Stop with the Ed Herrmann. You didn't know the man. The casualness.
Edwardian Herrmann.
Edwardian.
So he goes home. He storms off. No, she knocks him overboard first, right? That's how this works.
That's the first overboarding.
Yes.
One of three overboards in a movie.
So
You know what?
She had it coming.
Not enough overboards in this movie.
So he goes overboard. He meets up with his buddy from Wayne's World. What's this guy's name? Mike something?
Mike Hagerty?
Mike
Yeah.
Hagerty.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that sounds
great
right.
character.
He
actor.
had, I mean,
awesome.
let me tell you, Wayne's World is one of the funniest movies of all time.
Sure.
But his monologue in there about the Pinks like getting fired, that whole thing
Yeah,
is so goddamn fucking funny. I must think about that at least, like, seriously, now, like, once a month. I mean, Wayne's World is like 25 years old this year. I must think about it at least once a month and just laugh about it.
That sounds about right.
Yeah. Him and, another unsung performance in that movie is fucking Ed O'Neill.
Oh, yeah.
Ed O'Neill's great.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
Oh, yeah. I would love to hang out at a Stan Mikita's Donuts, by the way. Sorry. Putting that out there.
If it exists.
Yeah, I don't know if it's real or not. It looked kind of
Yeah, it
real.
kind of looked real.
I've never been to
Called a set. I saw that Star Wars movie. Every spaceship kind of looked real. That's all I'm saying.
I think that Boba Fett might be real.
Okay, now you got me. I think he's real too.
So
I want to believe.
he goes overboard and she fucking throws his tools in the water. This is this man's livelihood.
It's true.
That is insane. The fact you're not paying him $600 that you owe him.
Which is,
That-
I did the inflation. It's like $9 million.
Oh, yeah,
is
that
that
sounds
how that
right.
worked in 1987? I go to
Checks
that.
out.
Yeah,
But like tools are expensive.
Yes.
and
Also-
that's his livelihood. Like you said,
Don't you have goons? Like, really? Like, this is a perfect time to call your goon to escort him
What are
off
you
the
going to get
premises.
Roddy McDowall to deal with it?
well, no, this should be Roddy McDowall's job, right? Like she
right. He
Chucking people?
No, but fraternizing with the working class.
and he pays him anyway. Like she curses him out, it's like blah 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 blah, and then
Right.
like he has an understanding where it's like, here's $600, just get it.
Yeah, I'm terribly sorry. Because she's not missing it.
Yeah, nicked it from the petty cash.
But
Yeah.
then,
Right.
But then he might not feel so vengeful, and we wouldn't get what the greatness that is about to happen.
The comic gold.
Right. Well, it's a nice revenge plot that veers into disturbing territory.
It meanders a
is.
bit. We learn that his wife is dead. We learn that he has 4 rotten children. We learn that he lives in fucking squalor. Lives in a fucking hoarder's home.
It's a fixer-upper.
It's squalor. So we live with Kurt Russell a little bit. We meet his rotten children.
The rotten children are like trying to pull a Freddie Lowndes on the principal of the school.
Glue her to a chair naked and set her on fire and roll her down the street in a parking lot. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're getting at?
She comes out to Kurt Russell and she's like, they wrapped me in toilet paper and then they were putting gasoline on me.
Which is amazing that it escalated to pouring gasoline on a human being. And Kurt Russell, God bless him, is just so cavalier and casual. He's like, oh, they're just going through a little bit of a phase.
You know what he is? He's Private Fantastic.
What is private?
Not Captain Fantastic. He's Private Fantastic.
I see.
He's the shitty version of Viggo Mortensen's hippy dippy dad out in the boons not doing nothing.
That's what it should have been, dude. They're living in fucking tents in the trees and shit.
Oh, fuck.
Separatists.
Yeah, totally. One of these. One of these kids fucking, it's the opening moments of Overboard. And maybe it's even in the cartoon intro. One of these kids butchers a deer with his bare hands.
Well, he is grooming a fucking animal factory here, especially with
Totally.
We'll get to it. So we live with him for a bit.
We live with him?
Yeah, a little bit.
I would love to live with him. Just putting out that.
Can you imagine rooming with Kurt Russell? Rooming with Russell?
Dude, if anyone knows Kurt Russell, and
No.
if
It would suck because the
What?
fucking sock's going to be on the door all the time.
I don't give
and
a
I can't
shit.
fucking sleep.
They
Dude.
have been constantly fucking for 40
yeah,
years. And
I
it's
would
awesome.
pay for the privilege to hear Kurt Russell nut.
That was my question about them, by the way. Was this their first movie together?
No, this is the last of 3 movies.
They-
Of
It was,
3 movies.
There were- I read Swing Shift in like
Oh,
1984.
Swing Shift, of course.
Never saw it, but
Never saw it
that
either.
was
That's
a
the
movie.
Demi movie, right? Is that
Is
Swing
it?
Shift?
I don't
I
know.
don't
This
know.
is I think it's like set around World War Deuce.
I don't know.
That's the big one. As in, we took shits.
What's the other one?
something else.
The Great War.
Oh,
What's the other movie?
Well, you see, there was some aggression in old Europe at the time. I don't know. the
This
other
Archduke was
Actually, yes.
He was not asking for it, Chris.
It was what I was thinking of. It is a Demi movie that he's disowned because it was a studio botch job.
yeah. Classic studio.
What's it
box.
called?
Swing Shift.
but the other one we do not know.
We don't know. We'll figure it out.
At
it's
some
a-
point,
it's a
it's not
mystery.
protocol.
It's a
I know
mystery.
that.
Oh, man. Protocol. That might be a stay tuned.
You could
It's
help
really
solve
stupid.
a mystery.
Do you have access to the internet? Do you have 38 seconds to figure this out?
Because we don't.
So basically, she's on a boat. She falls off the boat because she wants to go to sleep with one of her diamonds. Her diamond is like dangling somewhere,
Right.
She don't even know it.
It's what I guess her wedding ring or some such.
And she falls over, and due to the shock and everything, she washes ashore and has temporary amnesia. And she's at the psychiatric hospital. It becomes a big news story. It's like, do you know this woman?
Oh, a young girl fell off a boat, washed up on the shores of Elk Cove, Oregon. Here is a subpar reenactment.
She's a real piece of work.
Would you like to pretend to be her husband?
Because we got nothing.
If so, come and claim her.
Well, because this news broadcast goes on for a real long. Like it's like a break. I guess it's like the Elk Cove local news. They break into Captain Who Gives a Shit, and they just like go with this woman for 40 minutes, and like they're just living with it. And Kurt Russell sees it. He's like, and immediately, it's not even a thing where like he struggles with it or like a buddy like says he should do it. He knows immediately to do it, which is to go to the hospital and claim to be her husband.
Well, this whole thing is like, this is going to be a classic prank.
Mm-hmm. It turns into a sexy prank.
It does. Eventually does become a sexy prank. But first you got to remember, Sir Edward Herrmann, not Ed.
Thank you.
He like goes to the hospital, sees her, and they're like, that's not my wife.
Well, she's being like nasty, and he's like, why do I need this nonsense?
Right.
Makes no fucking sense.
He's complicit in this plot.
Yes.
Absolutely. He's a cog in it.
But the weird and so he walks away, and then Kurt Russell shows up. He does finally don sleeves, and he shows up with absolutely no identification. I don't even know if he shows, because it's a cop and a doctor, and he's like, that's my wife. And they're like, you sure? And he's like, yeah, I'm sure.
Sure enough. I saw her ass once. And
then he does this whole thing, like trying to jog her memory, and it's just like the most insane shit. Like, you were in the Navy.
Well, this was my question about that. Is he bringing in stuff from his dead wife's life?
No.
No.
You don't think so?
That's a fucking fantastical, crazy life that he's laying out.
What, that she was in the Navy? Who cares?
That's
a thing.
Navy.
That she's from Goober, Idaho, which is a nuclear dump of a town.
That could all check out, though.
And then they met at a donut shop or some shit.
Yeah, he's also like that. That's the thing, is like, not only is he's like, and I hate this term because it's overused in the year 2017, but gaslighting this lady into fucking madness. But he's doing it so where like she's a piece of shit, and like, yeah, you were in the Navy, you were kicked out because you're stupid, you were fucking dumb, and you got fired from your donut shop, jerk. And she's like, oh, I guess I'm an awful person. Awesome. Yeah,
and then the way that he gets the doctors and stuff to release her to him is the birthmark that he saw when he was.
Right.
The best thing is like they're about to give her to him. This is the world we're living in, and she's like, "Well, doesn't he need identification? How do you know who this guy is?" And the doctor is like, "Yeah, I guess she's right." And he goes to Kurt Russell. He's like, I really want to help you out here, man, but lady's got a point. I'm like, what are you talking about? There are IDs, a wedding certificate, a picture of the two of them together.
Yeah.
Any of this would be totally cool.
This serial killer could have seen her ass in another situation.
Exactly. You put a picture of a pretty lady on the TV, and some fucking creep comes to claim her.
Listen. Just to quell the Looney Tune, why don't you give me a piece of mail? How about it?
All right, she's thinking of a number between 1 and 10. If you guess it, you get this bride.
It's also not just any lunatic. I mean, this is like the hunk of the century walked into your office. It's
a Ted Bundy type, is what it is.
It was
a handsome lunatic.
Wait, Ted Bundy was hot?
Yeah, he is famously handsome.
Very handsome.
That's fucking great.
You haven't seen that courtroom footage?
No.
That's fuckable footage.
No. Do you jerk off to that, Steve?
Absolutely. It's like if John Hamm was a murderer.
Oh, well, no, wait. Well,
that's actually, holy shit. We're going to have to fucking fast forward it a little bit because, fast track it rather, because he's getting kind of up there.
Yeah.
But the Ham Man could play Ted Bundy in a movie.
That's true.
You dye his hair brown, give him little nerd glasses.
He might actually be killing women.
Also true.
John Hamm?
Yeah.
Oh, right now?
Oh, yes.
Who would look?
Exactly. And speaking of this scene, Great gag in the background is this dude just eating checkers. This dude, this mental case playing checkers with himself and just eating checkers.
What I love, there's a great detail about it is like he eats one and you're like, is that dude eating checkers? Yeah, okay. And then like the attendant looks over and sees him do it, and the extra playing this like attendant is like, yep, checks out. He's good. Continue.
So that's in the rules.
She gets her, right? He brings her home. And she's really against it. She's like really uncomfortable by the whole thing, and like she doesn't want to go with this guy.
When he brings her out of the mental ward or the hospital or whatever it is, she literally has a rope tied around her waist, and he's dragging her like she's a fucking cow.
It's crazy. Like also like even if he is her husband, if she's like refusing to go with him. He doesn't have legal click. Yeah. It's like,
wait. So you're saying the taxpayer should take on this expense?
I think so. In this one instance, we should make an exception for a woman that might not want to go home with her abusive husband or whatever is going on.
And then what happens when every woman wants to do that?
Yeah, that's true. Then you have like women's shelters, and then it's coming out of my dime.
Please.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't with your pie in the sky ideas.
It's crazy. So yeah, he like ties her up and like puts her in the back of his Dodge pickup truck, and they drive. And the kid, this is where like you're raising serial killers at this point, because he at off screen has gone to he's gone to his kids and been like, hey guys, guess what? We're gonna pull a fucking scam on this rich lady because she ripped your dad off. So you're all gonna pretend to be her children, and you have to go buy like womanly clothes and scatter them around the house so it looks like she lives here, and all this madness.
See, this starts out as an honest grift, okay? Because she cost him like $600, so he's going to recoup that in like a babysitting fee. You know, totally boilerplate, normal stuff.
Normal guy, just guy stuff.
Yeah. He works it out where he's like, so I figure she'll be paid off in I don't know, like a month.
He's like $25 a day. I'm like, what are you talking about?
I guess he's just doing some division.
I don't think he's thinking beyond that, though.
But also, that's the thing. What are you going to do? What is his end game here? You have to kill her, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
you do. You can't just set her loose, man. She's going to tell the fuzz.
You're in too deep at this point. Your children are implicated. Everyone's going up the river.
That's probably. I mean, I believe that's probably part of the whole thing. Is he's getting ready for the kids to kill her?
Yeah.
So he doesn't have to get any blood on his hands.
It's a real frailty situation.
Come on, Grandpa. You were always the best with the sledge.
Exactly.
By the way, it's been bothering me. So sorry, I've been a little checked out as I do some internet research here. Overboard in 87, Swing Shift in 84, and then technically the only other thing was a movie called The One and Only Genuine Original Family Band from 1968. Kurt Russell has a role in it. Goldie Hawn is credited as like Giggly Girl or something.
Oh, I see.
This is a Mickey Mouse Club shit.
Just the two big ones.
All right.
Swing Shift and Overboard. So
this is the last one.
Yeah, this is
it.
The end of the trilogy. They never worked together again.
That's all right.
Well, they work together in other ways. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I said it earlier, Eric. It turns out they've been fucking constantly for 4 decades.
Yeah, good for them.
I love it. Goldie Hawn is a lucky lady.
Oh no, that's a sex sandwich you want to be a part of, right? Come on.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Yeah, that's everybody makes that.
Just call me condiment.
Oh, here comes the mustard.
Whoa, what? A mayo now?
A sexy memoir by Eric Siska.
Uh-oh, Condiment's going to do his finishing move on him.
Oh, wait, I'm arrested? Weird.
So, yeah, like, she's brought into this situation, and it's just a lot of, like, creepy ass, like, oh, don't you remember? You always did this, and you were doing this, and you like to do this.
Yeah, it's like all these chores. He's like, you loved like cleaning the shit out of the gutter. You loved what you, and he's also like, you never slept in the bed. You slept on the couch because of your back.
Also, one of his big things is like, well, it never bothered you before.
Yeah,
yeah. There's like, a lot of that because it's a weird, like, she still has at the start of the grift here, the sexcapades, if you will. Although there's not really much sexcapades until the end of the movie, when they movie fall in love, quote unquote.
When it gets real gross.
Yeah. But this is all like she doesn't remember who she is, but she still has that like the attitude of the spoiled rich person. So she's coming in and she was like, it doesn't feel like I would live in an outhouse.
Because they have to continuously justify the fact of what this crazy shit he's doing to her. So she still has to be kind of a pain in the ass.
That's the weird line that the movie walks, is like she's still doing that, and then he's doing things like not immediately sleeping with her.
Yeah.
And
like a
hero. Yeah, no. I'm not saying he is, but I'm just saying the movie's like, hey, this all checks out, man. You know what? It ain't cool, but it also ain't illegal.
The Leopold and Loeb handbook.
Well, she has a great line here when she sees the house. She goes, "We live here willingly." Like,
she is great in this movie.
She's got a lot of great lines.
She's so fucking funny in this movie.
One of the things to convince her that this is her life is he goes down to Mike Hagerty to do some Photoshop, some early edition Photoshop.
I don't even know how this even works. You tell me, Mike Hagerty, what equipment you've got in your trailer.
Well, it's such a bullshit thing because this stems from her being like, hey, Kurt Russell, why aren't there any photographs of us, like, or me? So, what was I saying?
No, he goes into Mike Hagerty in the middle of the night because she's like, yeah, where's all these pictures?
Oh, right.
Where are those pictures I was supposed to see?
Well, that stems from her being like, where are the photos of me? So he takes a packet of pictures and he goes to Mike Hagerty's window and he's like in there with some lady, you know, which is like, how dare you interrupt Mike Hagerty for this? He's been working this woman down for 5 years. And he's like, hey, remember that time in high school you made us fake IDs? Do it again. I was like, what are you talking about?
Hey, that was 20 years ago. You know what I mean? I'm not up to date. Am I a forger? Hey, guess what? Am I a forger?
If your idea of Photoshop is a guy on a trailer, you just might live in Elk Cove.
If you convince a rich woman that she's your wife after she gets temporary amnesia, you just might be in a movie that doesn't age well. Speaking of it not aging well, they are remaking this movie, unfortunately, with Anna Faris and Eugenio Diaz.
Yes,
I believe the gentleman's name
right.
is.
The guy.
Who's that dude?
I'm sorry, Eugenio Derbez.
Who's that dude?
He had some like something not like battery. It's not batteries not included, but something like that.
What? He was in Batteries Not Included.
Is he 80 years old?
Come on.
I'm saying the title of the movie is something like Batteries Not. It was a huge crossover hit.
Was he tracing Hugh Crone or whatever?
Hume Cronin?
What, Steve? Can you please?
I'm pulling it. But I will say, making the perpetrator in this instance Latin American doesn't help anything for the aging of the film.
Well, she'll fall in love with him.
But the other thing is, you're missing out. Make this a drama thriller. You cast Anne Hathaway in the Goldie Hawn role, but this is what solidifies it.
Right, you've already made it worse. Go on.
Mike Shannon as Kurt Russell. Now this movie is what it's supposed to be.
Mike Shannon, do you mow his lawn?
Hey, you're my wife now. You've always been my wife.
I mean,
better watch my children who are also dead.
Yeah, we always do this. You always like doing this.
You used to always like when I would threaten to break your neck like a twig. Never bothered.
They retitled the movie because it's like a cool, like artsy movie now. It's you always.
What? How did I
this?
screw it up?
No, Chris Cabot didn't. He was on the right track. The dude's name is Eugenio Derbez, and
He played one of the little UFOs in Batteries Not Included.
No, I know the movie that Chris is talking about. It's been sitting on HBO Go for no one to watch. It's called Instructions Not Included.
Oh.
Is what it is. Yeah. So who?
Hey, Anne
could
Hathaway,
care?
you're a rich lady. Why don't you go clean my house? You're my wife now.
Do I look like I'm kidding?
Exactly.
This isn't a joke.
It's him at a kitchen table, and she's trying to make it a comedy, and he's not letting her.
Hey, honey, shut up. First of all, remember these little words, honey? Till death do us part.
You don't want to part, do you? Would you like to part?
Oh, it's your birthday today. Let's go out for your birthday today. Let's go have a drink.
You know, being tied up never used to bother you. I go to work from 8:30 to 9:30 at night, and you were tied up for that time.
Well, yeah, I mean, because this is Room. I mean, this movie is essentially a fun room.
Yeah. Oh, I like fun rooms.
Well, no. Room, the movie. With Brie Larson.
Tommy Wiseau. Classic.
No,
Yeah.
Eric.
It's just like The Room.
The Academy Award-winning film.
You never used to bother you to play catch.
Well, Scoop McNairy tried to make that situation fun.
He did his best. If Garry Marshall directed in that movie, it would be a real fucking knee slapper, I guess.
Oh yeah,
It would
dude.
be
See,
Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan.
here's what all you have to do. You have Room. It's the same movie, but you have it surprisingly end with a Randy Newman tune, and everybody's laughing.
You're tearing me apart, Lisa.
Chip, a chip, a chip, a chip, a chip, a chip, a chip.
Oh man, Michael Shannon in why did they cast James Franco? I like this idea better.
I know. Did you see that thing out of South by that James Franco was like, it's kind of perfect because I think I am kind of like Tommy Wiseau.
You know what?
Oh, he
dude,
makes
whatever.
terrible movies?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
That's accurate.
Because I haven't watched all of his Faulkner movies.
Faulkner ones are not good.
I heard they're all
His
trash.
Cormac McCarthy one is not good.
Oh, the one where you see a human being actually taking a shit.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Jeez, I could do that.
Been
in
a
the mirror.
long time. Probably since early Lars von Trier.
Yeah, that movie fucking stunk. What was it called?
Is that The Idiots? No.
No, I was talking about the James Franco movie.
Oh, Child of God.
Yeah, something like that. That movie was
Not good.
It's a rotten turd of a
Not
movie.
good.
A lot of necrophilia in that movie.
I like that.
It used to never bother you before.
Hey, it's okay. This is a Hey, you always should see my lighthearted do comedy, Overboard.
I thought you liked being rolled up in the carpet.
That's my dead wife. We sleep with her too.
It's a thing
You're
where
my
I
new
think
wife.
that I'm happy to take you out for dinner for your birthday, but I'm going to pick the restaurant.
You think we're going to Italian? You're very wrong.
I can't believe they're remaking Overboard.
So, he puts
Two
her-
directors, by the way. Great sign.
He puts her into servitude really quickly. He's like,
Yep.
oh, and you always loved having this. He goes off to work. He's like, you always loved having this chore list. And it's like, do all my fucking housework. And as he goes off to work, he sings.
It's bone chilling.
Do our housework. She lives there too. Remember?
She does not, Eric. It's a con. It's a long con.
You
what,
also
dude?
make messes in the house.
That was your spaghetti plate you didn't clean up.
As Kurt Russell goes to work, he goes, zippity-doo-dah, zippity-day. Oh, boy, do I love having a slave.
And man, my fucking balls went up inside me forever.
I mean, which I think is the original Disney lyrics. I'm not
Yes,
sure.
yeah, I think it was the original score to Fantasia.
No, what's that? Their racist
song-
movie, The
with the
Song of
Song
the
of the
South.
South,
Yeah,
which they are also remaking with Michael Shannon.
I play a young Jeff Sessions.
It's me against all these crows.
I don't know.
Guy got a raw deal.
I don't know how much about a bill becomes a law, but I can make a shallow grave. I'll tell you what.
If it comes to it and I have to be murdered, I want it to be Michael Shannon.
Well, he'll do it right.
course.
He'll
Because
do
he's
it
a
right.
professional.
I think I should put that in my LinkedIn profile. Kill me, Michael Shannon. No one else.
Fuck me, Kurt Russell. Kill me, Michael.
Strike me
Shannon.
down while you still can.
If I was fucked by Kurt Russell, I would immediately then just want to be murdered because
Oh,
there's
well-
nothing left to live for. You did it all.
Welcome back to Fuck, Marry, Kill Me.
Okay, well, who are we gonna marry now? We got the fucking kill down.
Oh, marry Hector Elizondo.
I was going to marry Scoop McNairy.
No, gross. Hector Elizondo, who played the garbage captain of the boat,
He's a captain of a garbage scow.
is the one that fished her out of the water.
Correct.
And man, if you love to laugh, marry Hector Elizondo because he's a fun dude, man. In all of his little roles that pop up, he always makes me smile.
Yeah, he's kind of a now we're talking. Whenever Hector, I'm never
Really?
changing the channel.
I read
Hector.
Yes.
that episode of West Wing when he was on. That was great.
For me, it's just like, all right.
Really? You're just tolerating it?
Like, I was recently rewatching The Princess Diaries,
Uh-huh.
and, he's in that movie for a fashion, and I was like, all right.
just all right.
I'll put up with it. I'm not going to change the channel on Hector.
I mean, I'm here. I'm
already
not happy,
here.
but I'm here.
I'm already here. I didn't come for this, but I'm already here, and now this is also here.
Well,
That's the idea.
I think he'd be a delight.
Wasn't Hector Elizondo the first person to say shit on broadcast television? Wasn't that him on Chicago Hope?
Oh, it might have been.
that
Yeah.
would
shit
make sense.
happens.
I mean, he says a good shit.
That's world history.
Did you hear that they're remaking the
Chicago Hope?
No, they're remaking the Princess Diaries, and
Really?
with Michael Shannon. He's gonna be the one that corrals the princess into being a princess.
Oh, I thought he was going to be the princess.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah. You know.
Hi, I'm middle school outcast Mia Thermopolis. My dad's dead, and I live with my artsy mother. Do with that what you will.
Oh, great! Now I'm wearing a tiara. Great.
Wait, which fork am I supposed to use when I'm eating?
How about I just eat with my hands?
I really don't want to wear the crown.
Well, you got it, dude.
I'd rather not.
What is a tiara? All right.
So, I mean, like this is when we get one of our first of many montages. She starts to get into it, I guess, right?
She's into it.
Yeah.
Totally.
And
she's
like
cleaning the house.
And I
Throwing
guess the
chicken
idea
into pots.
is,
Well, this is good for her character because, she never did a day's work in her life,
it's-
presumably.
It's great because she's accepting their situation now.
exactly. If you view this
No,
movie
no,
as,
but it's building upon her as a person. She came from. Listen, don't defend the rich every second you get. Her mother is a nightmare in this movie. Their
Yeah, it's
family
true.
is a nightmare. Her husband, that Cabin mows lawns for, is a nightmare. These are nightmare people that maybe should be dead.
I mean, her mother is like one step away from Brazil. Like,
Yes,
it's
I
very
thought it was
true.
that
It's
lady.
just-
it is that lady.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. It is.
Oh.
What's her name?
Forget
From Who's the Boss?
Oh, right, yes.
That's Mona?
Yeah, Mona's in Brazil and Overboard.
What?
Yes. Really? You're that surprised?
A bunch of newspapers just gobbled up Andrew and he's gone.
Dude, I've seen Brazil like 10 times. I had no connection that was Mona.
But yeah, they should all be probably
Terry
dead.
Gilliam's on the phone, Mona. Uh-oh, I got killed by a giant hand. Mona, Bob Hoskins here to fix the sink.
Oh, man. Bob Hoskins, best part of that movie. Or possibly De Niro. I don't know.
Yeah, you get a lot.
the whole thing.
Yeah, but yeah, so she's like her mother, because basically what happens is Edward Herrmann like goes off and he's like, "Oh, great, this is my chance." Well, you do find out later, which you need to kind of know because the movie doesn't make sense without it, is that Edward Herrmann doesn't have money. It's actually it's always been Goldie Hawn's money.
Which also doesn't really make sense because the rich people don't marry non-rich people.
Yeah, like it doesn't make, or like maybe she's got so much more money than he does.
That
maybe
makes sense.
That would make sense.
So
I mean, yeah, like
it's
he's
her
so
boat,
much,
it's her money.
He's so much older than her. It doesn't make sense that she would marry this guy.
Exactly.
It doesn't make any sense at
But
all.
so he runs off to like just go fuck on the high seas, and Mona keeps calling, and he keeps doing this thing where he's like, "Oh, you just missed her." Oh, or he's like telling Roddy McDowall, "Oh, just tell him we're out, whatever."
Feeding her fucking Scott Peterson lines.
Well, that's the thing. This woman disappears on the high seas, and at a certain point towards the end of the movie, she calls him up and she's like, "Listen, I don't know what's going on there, but I don't like it. And you have 1 week to tell me where my daughter is." I'm like, if you suspect this guy has killed your daughter, you're going to give him a week to get out of town? Like, you hire a private investigator immediately.
You're a billionaire, lady.
That's when Michael Shannon shows up. In
Oh
this
my
movie.
God! Yes.
What happened? Did you throw her overboard? That's what I would have done. I would have thrown her right overboard.
Tell me you did it.
Tell
me you did it.
Are you a cowboy?
It's really popular in Elk Cove. Women tend to go overboard.
That was so funny. That I had the same reaction. I was like, 1 week?
Yeah. Why?
How about call me back in an hour? That's it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, all right, you say she's out. If I don't get a call by midnight tonight, I'm calling the
And the thing
police.
is, when he leaves the the hospital or whatever that they're keeping her at the start, he says something like, "Well, she's left me," or whatever. So like, play to that narrative. Tell
Yes.
the mother, like,
Yeah,
we
I don't know.
Build a story, maybe.
We got into a big fight, and she got off the ship at Elk Cove and told me to go, to go fuck myself. There you go.
Which I would love to hear Edward Herrmann have to say that. She told me to go fuck myself.
Still, a whole week, you have all that time, even if she was still alive with him.
Yeah.
He'd have a week to kill her, Dexter her, and fucking be done with it.
Or this guy's got means. He's a flight risk. That's why you don't let people go. He's a flight risk.
Absolutely.
And
There's a line in this movie. Nothing to do with the killing, or the possible killing. But it's a real Kurt Russell line. And it's unfortunate that it's in this context, because I feel like if Kurt Russell made this joke in real life, you'd be like, Kurt Russell, that's fucking funny. But he's showing her around the house, and he's like, this is where this is the bedroom. And he goes in, and it's like just a shitty Kurt Russell bed. And he goes, a lot of miles on that mattress. And I was like, ooh, Kurt Russell dialogue.
It's a funny joke, but again, like, it plays to the sex angle, which is really...
In this instance, it's unfortunate.
So, like, we get... The first night, he hangs out with... He keeps going out every night. He's like, I gotta go bowling with the guys. And he's always hanging out with Mike Hagerty. And, like, the first night, Mike Hagerty's like, hey, did you do it yet? Hey, did you teach that rich bitch a lesson yet? Or whatever? And he's like... And, like, the way the scene is played is, like, Mike Hagerty's like, well, of course you're going to have sex with her. But Kurt Russell's the good guy.
Sure.
So
he is pretty honorable.
In air quotes. So the way he's playing it is, like, he's pretending he's going to have sex with her, but he's too good of a guy to do it.
Well, it's kind of like how in Fargo, Peter Stormare's the good guy to Steve Buscemi. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
Wait, what? No, it's the opposite.
well, Steve Buscemi like gets mouthy. Like he's a mean
Yeah,
dude.
but Peter Stormare just starts murdering people.
I think he's closer to Peter Stormare, actually. Yeah.
All right, you know what? Whichever.
One of the Fargo goons is nicer than the other one, and that's the way the movie plays it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, this whole world takes place in, like, basically the town that A Time to Kill takes place in. Like, right before it happens, I feel.
Man, if this turned out to be A Time to Kill prequel,
It might as well be.
But she does get into this blue collar life.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
There is
starts eating it up.
Well, there's a turning point where, like, she gets, like, her hands are glued to the plates.
Oh, God.
And, like, these rotten kids have been awful to her. But then she gets the hose out and starts spraying everyone in the middle of the house.
Well, like, they're
This
all...
is a turning point, Chris. This is where the romance starts.
It's such a bullshit turning point, though.
But they're having
creepy
fun.
romance. Jesus.
Well,
she just baked a huge fucking chocolate custard for them, and they're putting their hands in it and just feeding, shoving their
Which
mouth.
now, this is a
when
weird
she
thing. You
lets
have Mike
go-
Hagerty come over. You're like, hey, Mike Hagerty, come over and watch some football. He's like, all right, let's do it, buddy. And he comes over. There's a bunch of beer, and it's the classic, like, she's running around, cleaning, serving them. He's like, oh, how about some more beers, this, that, and the other thing. At what point in this, when it's like the fellas together, are you like, let's dip into this chocolate cream pie? It's so weird.
It's another one of his little, like, fucking control things, because he's like, I'm hungry for dessert now.
Yes,
Are
exactly.
you gonna come and give me dessert now?
And Mike Hagerty's like, hey, man, I just came here to watch a Packer game. This is getting
No,
weird.
shut up. Where's my dessert now?
But so she freaks out in this scene, and she's like, I've been working my ass off. You don't say thank you. I'm cleaning up after you. I'm serving you, blah, 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 blah.
You always liked it before.
And it's like a huge thing. And she goes away, and then she comes back and sprays him with a hose, and it's like, da-da-da-da-da, and the music's all happy as ever-loving shit.
This is when she becomes blue collar trash.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm
it's,
saying
it's liberating for her. As,
all of that can't happen in 25 seconds in the same living room.
well, it
is
is
what
a,
I'm
it
saying.
is a movie.
It's the scene. You remember in Serial Season 2 when Bo Bergdahl sprayed those guys with a hose, and they all started liking each other? The people that were
Wait, the Taliban?
Yeah, he sprayed the Taliban with a hose.
That's right.
And then they all started playing cards together. And even though he slept in a bird cage, it was like they were buds now, and you kind of felt good. Everybody was a little bit right in that situation.
And they shared a chocolate pie together.
Yeah.
It was
What-
really
what-
sweet.
What did that show conclude? That he was a traitor or something?
No, they kind of leave it up to you, Eric.
Yeah, you know
don't-
what? I left it up to myself to not finish listening to that season. of
I'll never
Serial.
listen to any of
No,
that shit.
that's fine.
You're all right. But I mean, she's a prisoner, is what I'm saying.
But so she has this moment. It flips. It's whatever. We cut to like she gets called into the teacher's office because these kids are being monsters.
They all have the same teacher. It's like a schoolhouse. I don't know what friggin' Mennonite compound they're living on.
Elk Cove, Oregon.
They're just all living. They're like Amish, I guess. We're like, this kid's 14, the other kid's 8, and they're in the same class. Odd.
It is odd. But so this woman's like, oh, these children are unruly. They refuse to take this placement test, blah, blah, blah. And Goldie Hawn, you want to talk about dressing down. She dresses down this teacher. It is fucking fantastic. It's
great.
Oh, my God, telling this woman off. Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah, and she's like becoming a real mother to these kids. And
Right.
like, these kids are loving it. Like they needed discipline and structure in their life.
The youngest kid can't read, and Kurt Russell's like, he'll figure it out. It's like, dude.
It's like not all your kids will learn to read by reading pornographic magazines, by the way.
Oh, right, they're running around with that nudie man.
The older kid's constantly looking at pornography, and he's got a line where he's like, "Ha! Now those are tits."
Yeah.
And he's like looking at a magazine, and Kurt Russell's like, "Whatever. He's 13. He's jerking off all the time,"
He even does-
which is true. But come on,
He is-
give him Moby Dick.
Because she goes up to Kurt Russell like, you're not raising these children. So and so doesn't know how to read. Tommy's got pornography everywhere, and he's like, well, I'll build you a separate bathroom if it bothers you that much. And I'm like, ew, ew, ew.
You know what, Kurt Russell? It's not the jerking off that's being argued right now.
A second bathroom doesn't fix everything.
That's a baiting bathroom, man.
Oh, man.
You got to have your regular bathroom, then you got a baiting bathroom.
But to Steve's point,
were you in the baiting bathroom?
Did you know that you're not supposed to go into the baiting bathroom?
one question for you: if you were in the baiting bathroom, were you baiting? Because if you weren't baiting, you shouldn't be in the baiting bathroom.
Why don't you just come back out here with me?
Let's go for a ride to the desert. No, we're seeing the desert tonight.
Yeah, Hector's out there digging a hole nice and deep.
Oh, Hector Elizondo?
Right before I marry him.
Also, Goldie Hawn is able to point out to this teacher that all 4 of these little mongrels are stricken with poison oak.
Sure.
Which is like, yeah, that's unfortunate, but that's not the reason they're refusing to take this placement test.
No, they're just being assholes.
There's also the subplot where Kurt Russell's making a mini golf course, which this
Oh,
movie
my
did
God.
not need.
Oh my
This
God.
movie did not need it.
You
It
know
didn't
what?
need it.
I'm sure if you looked through all of the decades of cinema history, there are some points, specifically Caddyshack 2, in where you need a plot line about a mini golf course, but not a lot.
Did
No.
Caddyshack 2 have a mini golf?
That was the whole point.
Caddyshack 2 is all about a mini
Oh,
golf
because they were
course.
converting it to a mini
The country
golf.
club's going to be a mini golf course. Yeah.
Stay tuned, by the way.
Oh, big time. Jonathan Silverman in that film?
Yes,
Yes,
he is.
Jonathan Silverman.
Yeah. No, but like, you know what? Not Overboard.
No.
I don't, and it's like him and Mike Hagerty.
There's
like
enough going on in this movie.
they're like sketching
Well,
out
the thing is-
ideas.
Well, no, Goldie Hawn's the real designer of this whole park.
And this is a big bunch of horse shit because Mike Hagerty has the better idea where he's like, this golf course should be like every hole is a different famous brewery from America. How cool is that? And I was like, fuck yeah, Mike Hagerty. I do putt-putt at that shit. Absolutely. And then Goldie Hawn's like, what about if there was a mini golf course where every hole's like a big monument from around the world? And I was like, oh, like every fucking miniature golf course in the history of human society?
Well, she's got results, though, man. Like, no one's... You're going to bring a kid... Every brewery looks the
that's
same.
true.
It's a big fucking factory.
Well, it's all
Hey, look at this big gray structure. Can you get it in there?
It's all for fucking not, because when we finally see this monstrosity,
Yeah.
it's just like floats in
Yeah,
the middle of a
dude,
field.
it
Like
pays-
it's not even designed
Chris
to
Cabin,
flow at all.
Bite your tongue. This succeeds.
Does it?
Yes, everyone's
does.
happy. They're dancing. They
Oh,
have
that's
the whole-
one night's business. Please.
That
That's
disgusting-
grand opening.
That disgusting fucking honky fart rock band
Whoa.
definitely plays the grand opening of this mini golf
That's
course.
awesome.
They just go. They're singing Jim Dandy 3 times in this movie.
Well, you know, when you pay for Jim Dandy, you really
Yeah.
pay through the nose.
The funny thing is, though, so like at this point, like she's basically changed Kurt Russell's life for the better. She's teaching his children how to read. She's cleaned his house. She's made order of it.
She's destroying that one child's addiction to pornography.
She gave him a business, like all this stuff, and he's like, And he's like, go to Mike Hagerty. He's like, I'm feeling bad, man. I guess I should tell her that I abducted her about 2 months ago.
Oh, first she finds those panties.
That's
her panties,
right.
but they've got different initials on it from the name she knows.
Oh, right.
And there's this weird subplot of like, she wants to like figure out like who Kurt Russell's sleeping with and what's going on with that.
Yeah.
Because he's like catfished her in real life to the point where she feels like jealous of her abductor. It's totally fucked up.
It's
Yeah.
amazing.
But then, like-
the brain twist.
It's a bunch of inceptions.
But-
I mean, like, and because he's doing fish gut work at night.
Yes.
Yeah, and everyone is trying to keep them together because they're so good together, guys.
Yeah,
I don't know
they
if you
are.
know. I don't know if you noticed
The
this,
chemistry.
but they're so good together. Like the kids want, like they're like, "No, you're our mom. What are you talking about?" And then Billy, Michael Hagerty, says that the fucking spiel he lays on
Oh,
here is
it's
amazing.
such a lie.
That these panties belonged, like, I strayed from Gertie and I found a phone. I actually wrote this down. This is like verbatim. He found a phone sex operator who would accept personal checks. And he didn't become Bad Billy Brat for nothing.
Bad Billy Brat.
Wow, he converted on a phone sex operator, huh? That's pretty tough.
Well, that's
She came down there to have sex with him, and he wrote her a personal check.
and this is like in the middle of Kurt Russell trying to like admit what's going on.
Yeah.
And he's like, shut up. No, this is not real. He's not, and she's like, no, oh, thank God. And she's like giving Mike Hagerty a big hug and laughing it off. And Kurt Russell's like, that's not what a phone sex operator does. They don't come to you and fuck you.
I just don't understand how, like, Kurt Russell doesn't drive home one day and the ATF has the place around.
No, exactly. Well, I think that's what Mike Hagerty's deal is. Like, dude, he's an accessory at this point.
Right.
Oh, like,
yeah.
that's why he's not like, it's not, I don't care about you, man. I'm not going to the clink for this shit.
The idea that, like, wait, no, dude, we're in too deep. You convinced that woman for 40 years
Yes.
that this is how it is, and that's the way it is.
Look, eventually one of you will die and then it'll be over with.
But for right now, I can't go back to prison.
Well, because he's definitely done time. But this character has forged those photographs.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, he is like tits deep in this.
Is an accessory to kidnapping. That's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. He's doing time.
Serious time. So, it's her basically in one of these times, Kurt Russell comes home and he's like, baby, I gotta tell you something. And he's about to say it again.
Yeah.
But then he's like, and she's looking at him and he realizes how beautiful everything is. Like, it's your birthday. And like, he does this twist where like, I missed your birthday, so I'm going to take you out to a wonderful dinner. They go to some shitty blues house and fuck, right? Like, that's the thing.
That's
And like,
about right.
But I got to stop you though, because here's where the charm of this movie picks back up again. There's a split second in this movie where it looks like it is a genuine good time, and it is Kurt Russell doing sweaty roadhouse dancing in this bar.
Yep.
Holy
Yep.
shit!
Yep.
It's awesome.
Dude, I don't care if he abducts me.
look, Jeff Dahmer could cut up a rug at all those fucking Milwaukee clubs, all right? He was great on the
He
dance
loved
floor.
Pet Shop
Doesn't make
Boys.
him a good guy.
I'm breaking it down into little moments.
Okay.
And in this moment, I had the thought, wow, it looks like it would be really fun to share the dance floor with Kurt Russell. Not this overboard character or whatever the
It
else
looks
fuck.
so much fun to get Stockholm syndrome. with
No,
Kurt Russell.
no. I'm talking about the precious seconds.
Of course.
And listen,
Of actual
Of
Kurt
course.
Russell doing actual Kurt Russell
Also,
dancing.
Sure.
It's disingenuous to bring up your serial killer friends that you love so much. Dan.
Sure.
Because we don't know that he's killed anyone yet. I mean, I know I suspected him of killing his previous wife,
Yeah.
but
yeah, this is the staircase right now,
dude,
man.
oh, God. You know what? No, man, I watch fucking Overboard and I get Stockholm syndrome, and I'm like, he's just a good guy. He just needs someone around.
Mike Hagerty's definitely taken a life or two in this movie.
Oh, sure.
Guaranteed.
Oh man, he definitely strangled someone to death.
Oh, back when we were living in Germany, my wife died that way.
She fell into a white barrel, and I buried it.
Well, it's like, actually, that's a fucking terrifying moment in this movie where she's fucking catatonic, and Kurt Russell's like, I'll fix it, and he carries her outside and dumps her in a barrel of water.
And then later in the movie, even
Yep.
more chilling, like
Yep.
she's like disagreeing with him and Like, he's like, what, do you want to go back to the barrel? And
She says, I don't want to go in the barrel. Or so, it's like,
Yeah.
please don't put me in the barrel.
Yikes.
So at that moment, I was like, did Eli Roth direct some of this movie?
So they do have sex, and it's incredibly sensual.
Oh, yeah.
It's very soft. We don't see anything, thank God. This is worse than the Revenge of the Nerds rape, right? Because, I mean, like, they're both misleading sexual encounters.
That's bone chilling.
It is.
The end of Revenge of the Nerds is bone chilling. This, I mean, like, look, it sucks. It's 1,000% problematic. The movie and Garry Marshall and everybody involved did it as best as they thought they could to make it so, like, they're both in love. And look, clearly, by the people who, like, responded to my Facebook post and everything else, so many people fucking fell for it.
Sure.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the chemistry of Kurt Russell and Goldie
I
Hawn.
agree. I feel like anyone else playing this, as we illustrated with Michael Shannon and Anne Hathaway for some reason, if it was anyone else, it wouldn't work. But, like, these two people were in love in real life, and it comes across on the screen.
No, you know what I think it is? I think it's you end this movie with a Randy Newman song, and everyone thinks the movie was fun. If you ended Dogville with a Randy Newman song, they'd like, oh, that was kind of fun when that woman broke her statue.
That would be a little more confusing than anything. And, well, that's an odd choice for Von Trier.
The bouncy synth Billy soundtrack, like
Billy.
There it is. That's what it's called. Cabin coined it.
and like I'm sorry, that's what makes all of this okay in the outer world is that it has this stupid bouncy. You put some Wagner over this,
That's what I was talking.
Wait a second. I'm going to go home and do that.
That's what I was talking about with this fake trailer shit. You could change that up, man, and it's like bone chilling.
What's even bone chilling is the kids almost run into them the next morning, and one of the kids, I think it's Porno Fat Kid, is like, "You got nice tits and a nice ass." And Russell's like, "Ew, man."
What I believe it is, because it's even worse.
Because I
somehow.
mean, like, this is after like this movie spending all this time being like, but she's like a mother to them, and they respect her as a mother.
Well, this is, first of all, it's a real Larry the Cable Guy birthday present because he fucks her and then opens the door, and it's a bunch of Rugrat mongrel kids going, "Got you a washing machine."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh, great, a washing machine." And then he goes to get the kids. He like shoos the kids out. And before this kid closes the door, he goes, "She might have no tits, but she has a nice ass."
Yuck.
And that's where this whole thing should crumble, because Goldie Hawn's character totally hears it.
Yes.
And she's like, "Wait, what did he say?"
I feel like I missed this line.
No, it's a real line.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
real
there.
line.
He says it, and she goes,
Toledo.
"What did he say?" And it's like, "Moing," and then they cut, and it's over with. She had to be like,
Wait, he's cut?
No.
Don't worry. I was just telling him about what's going to happen on his 16th birthday.
It's just outrageous that she's like, "Wait, what did my son just say about me?"
Yes.
Cut.
Yeah.
Cut. Gary Marshall, cut.
It's fine. So Edward Herrmann rushes back because
Washing machine.
the federales are after
Uncut.
him. He picks up Moner along the way and, like, I guess fills her in as to what happened. And he basically shows up to Kurt Russell's house, and he's like, it's this scene where, like, she just walks by and she's like, "Oh, hey, Edward Herrmann," and she's like, "Edward Herrmann," and she remembers everything.
Yeah.
And we have a "she's all that" moment plus Sven-Ole Thorsen, so that's pretty.
Oh man, Sven-Ole Thorsen as like the beefy security guard. What a
Named-
cameo!
Named Olaf.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's appropriate.
Awesome. You know what? I really wish we could have seen these two stallions fight.
That would have been great.
Kurt Russell starts duking it out, and it would definitely be duking it out.
Oh,
by the
definitely, dude. Maybe some fucking drop kicks back and forth.
No, it's totally. They have to fight in a lumberyard because it's Portland. It's
Dude,
Oregon,
yes.
right?
And then
Yes.
fucking Sven-Ole Thorsen, as big as a fucking tree trunk, gets fucking thrown into a saw.
Yes, exactly.
I thought you were going to say he takes a whole tree and swings it at Kurt Russell.
Oh, if he hacksaw Jim Duggan
dude,
him.
both. And then
I
Kurt
like where
Russell
this
has
movie's
to.
going.
He's like, now we got to go live in the sea because now I got to murder people.
We got to murder people on top of this whole kidnapping thing.
Instead, it's just this awkward thing where Edward Herrmann in this scene is like not. He doesn't say a word really.
No.
He's just like standing there. And all he says is like, if you want to get rough, that's why I brought Olaf.
See,
and then Sven-Ole Thorsen doesn't get to say anything. It's just a bunch of people not saying anything.
Because they're wrong for each other, man.
Who's Sven-Ole Thorsen and Edward Herrmann?
That and Edward Herrmann and Goldie Hawn.
Are you
Right.
the co-maker?
So,
But the thing is, the she's all that moment is really small. It's not like it's never no mention of charges by either Edward Herrmann or Goldie Hawn. Like, dude,
No.
this guy should go to jail.
She doesn't burn the house down. I'm sorry, it's not convincing.
Because she's just like, oh, I can't believe you lied to me. It's like, yeah, he did a lot more than lie.
But
to
I
me.
think it's a thing.
He rescued her out of the complacency of her doomed marriage and terrible life.
Mm-hmm.
And also, Edward Herrmann's totally complicit because he did the whole, like, not my wife.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like the two dudes here are like, let's just kind of call this even.
Sure.
I mean, I'm playing a little bit of the devil's advocate.
Sure.
Hoo-ha! Hoo-ha-ha!
Oh, Jeffrey Jones should have been in this movie.
I'm not even sure if Al Pacino would be okay with this. I think
be
he'd probably
okay.
have a problem.
He'd be okay with this.
What do you think that relationship with Beverly D'Angelo was? She had no idea who he was.
Found her in a hospital once.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'll take that when I saw that vacation movie. Yeah.
She looks like a pip.
Here, I'll give you a 20 tire to the top of my car.
So I guess it's like, get back on my boat. So,
There's like 20
let's go.
Yeah, there's like 20 minutes where there's like some stupid therapist named Dr. Corman who are not even plays the piano. It's like a joke. It's like a joke. And then like she's like, "Oh, give me a beer." And everyone's monocle falls out cuz like
Right.
she's been trashified.
Right, yeah, she's a pig now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a white trash pig.
And she's like hanging out with the staff and stuff, and everyone's like, "Oh, something's wrong with her," or whatever. Basically, this movie ends as an '80s movie should, with two boats careening towards each other. Like that's the only way to end an '80s movie.
She's drinking beer. She's talking to the staff. She's regained her humanity.
But it's just amazing that this movie is like, look at this piece of shit who was a piece of shit person.
Sure.
And it's like,
Yes.
this kidnapping happened to her. And look what this kidnapping did. It made her into a real gal.
And don't worry, here comes James Caan to settle the whole rest of the thing. No, I would much rather a Dogville ending, honestly.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
Ed Herrmann comes to the house with a bunch of guys with guns.
Oh yeah, they
and
shoot
fucking
them all.
mows them
Yes.
all down.
They get Mike Hagerty, they get Hector Elizondo, they get the doctor, they get the kids.
Yes.
They got to get the kids.
Oh, sure. Especially that porno
I
kid.
mean,
They get
I
the
don't think you
schoolhouse lady. Everybody's going down, and the town doesn't exist anymore. No more Elk Cove.
That'd be
nice.
and it ends.
Salt the earth.
That's what it is. The movie they're all dead. It ends with Sven-Ole Thorsen going up to the sign that says "Welcome to Elk Cove," like population, whatever, and he just picks the entire sign up out of the ground and just breaks it over his knee and throws it in the water.
fade to a stage with outlines of
Some guy's like, "Hey, excuse me, buddy. How do I get to Elk Cove?" And keep driving. Listen, turn the car around. Keep driving.
Goldie Hawn's in the backseat just staring blankly,
Smoking a cigarette,
just
man.
trying to get it all through her head.
Goldie Hawn like gets in a fight with Edward Herrmann because Edward Herrmann's like being a scumbag, and he says something about he spent the past month whacking the donkey with painted ladies.
Yeah.
Because he's just been like fucking hookers this whole movie,
One
blowing rails.
of which is called Tofuti.
Yeah. Sure.
Oh yeah.
Hey, you're sure.
So like Kurt Russell is gonna go like he loves her, so he gets Mike Hagerty to commandeer the Coast Guard.
That's how this whole thing goes tits up, man. You get the U.S. Armed Services involved.
Do not bother with. You got to get a buddy's boat. This is a buddy's boat situation.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know a guy who's got a boat.
Don't bring the government involved.
Oh yeah, we got to get the government out of our lives.
Well, no, because they're all like, "Ah, great, you're rescuing your wife," and you're like, "Well, not really." And he's like, "What do you mean?" And then you tell him the story, and you're in a fucking stockade.
Yeah, you're in the brig.
Exactly. It's like, wait,
So then the Coast Guard gets a call, and it's like, oh,
Salmon poachers.
yeah, there's salmon
that's a
poachers.
good
And
joke.
so the guy, I think these are all like real life Coast Guard people because they're all fucking horrible.
one of them is Garry Marshall's son, actually.
Oh, the little turd on the radio. radio.
Can I
Yes.
tell you the most meaningless piece of IMDb trivia I've ever seen for the movie Overboard?
Wow, sure.
It's for Overboard.
Oh, yeah.
It says, trivia, Garry Marshall's sister is Penny Marshall.
In Overboard?
In Overboard, filed under Overboard. It's like, trivia, Penny Marshall exists.
Did you click that was not cool or interesting?
I didn't bother.
Was she like thanked in the credits? Maybe. And he was just trying to shove it in there.
No, I don't know.
I know.
Oh,
something.
she played Poseidon in this scene, but they cut
Yes.
that out.
So like the Coast Guard's like, we got to go do legitimate shit, so
Yes.
this dumb thing will have to be stopped. And they go to turn around, and Kurt Russell's not having it, and he jumps off the boat. And here's what's unconfirmed:
He goes overboard. By the way.
Well, he goes
Man
overboard.
overboard.
Yeah, he goes overboard. But here's the thing: the question I had as to who's going overboard, because I rewound it a couple times.
Oh no.
Unconfirmed as to whether or not that's a stunt double. I think Kurt Russell was jumping off that boat.
I hope so.
It looked awesome.
I would think he would. I would hope he would.
Yeah. I don't know. Didn't you notice it looked a lot like Kurt Russell?
I didn't.
Why
I
wouldn't he
wasn't.
jump off the boat himself?
Oh, he's a big movie star.
Oh, he's a virile young man.
I know, like Tom Cruise always insists on doing his own stunts.
I mean, he's got to know that Randy Newman's in the water.
So
Our,
anyway,
our Randy Newman in the water.
Don't go in that water. So I heard there's a Randy Newman in there. Oh, looks like you're gonna need a bigger piano.
You ever see Randy Newman's eyes like a doll's eyes? Rolls back in his head as he clinks the piano keys.
you want someone to kill a Randy Newman? I could do it.
The USS Indianapolis. The water was cold, and a bunch of Randy Newmans swimming around us. I saw a bunch of men start going under. I said, "Be still, boys." With a bunch of Randy Newmans swimming around.
33 good boys go down to the drink with Randy Newman that night.
I like eating brodies.
Oh, it's awful. It's
So,
an
I mean,
awful song.
So
that comes
she
on.
jumps into the water
Yes.
to
Sure,
they-
she's going overboard a second time.
They fall in
woman
love.
overboard.
They fall in love. They come back onto the Coast Guard boat, and like he's like, "I can't believe you gave up all that stuff for me." And she's like, "No, I didn't. I'm actually rich, and I have all the money." Like, meh.
And the gag is like the four shitty little kids are. He says like they're already making out their Christmas lists, and she's like, "Oh, great!"
So add grand larceny to this fucking because this is Stockholm syndrome, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes,
That's the
totally.
only reason for her to do this. Like, if she hates Edward and Herrmann that much, she's like, you know what? I'm getting an apartment in New York. I'm going to figure it out for like 8 to 10 months.
Yes, separation, trial separation.
Sure.
See what happens.
But
Then
that
she
doesn't happen.
eventually marries Colin Fior, and there's the prequel to First Wives Club. And then
Yeah,
we're good. There we go.
Oh, that's nice.
No, it ends even creepier than that because she's like, or I don't know who suggested. Somebody's like, "Hey, let's have a baby."
Oh no, he's like,
right.
she's like, you can give me something. He's like, you're giving me all this money. What can I give you? She's like, you can give me something. She looks at the fucking ugly kids he's got. And he's like, she's like, a girl.
Oh, right, yeah, that's what it is. A girl, beep.
And then cue Randy Newman and we're out of here, guys.
Jesus Christ. You should have had a cartoon outro.
Yes.
At least.
Like they smile, they kiss. Maybe the cartoon is like the two of them and it's the top of their wedding cake.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, how is there not bloopers at the end of this? How is there not like we're doing the thing that Roger Ebert always hated where it's like the credits are going, but the movie kind of continues. Like, where's the wedding? Those four little shit-stained kids are like
could
the
have
groomsmen.
We could see the little girl. But I think there may be this might be a sequel setup, by the way. You never know.
Oh, that
Overboard,
could be.
Overboard 2. Now there's a kid.
Oh, great title.
What? What do they trick that kid into thinking?
That's a great question.
Because the new cast member has to be the one that gets tricked.
No, it's one oh no, that's what it is. It's the one of the kids goes to prep school and then somebody overboards him to a dirt family and like it's like weird circles.
yeah, my how the tables have turned, fat kid.
Exactly. Fat porno kid would have to be it.
Would anybody recommend this movie? movie?
No, it's about 2 hours, which is about too long.
1 hour and 52 minutes.
And there are a lot of like really bone-chilling lines, like the barrel line that really like, even when you're starting to be like, well, this is a kind of a, let me put away my 2017 glasses.
Right.
Put on my 1987 glasses. Still not that great.
Yeah.
No. Hard no. This is awful.
Chris Cabin's hard no.
There is it's all creepy. From I would say from beginning to end, it's like really bone chilling. And like I really do think you take the score off this thing and it's a much more frightening movie. So yeah, no.
I think it's, obviously there's problems with it that were addressed on this podcast. But
Kurt Russell is shirtless.
Well, it's fun. It's dumb. I think like a hangover movie, seeing is believing type of situation. I would recommend it. Sorry. I mean, it's crazy.
Sorry,
it's
America.
crazy, but
I thought you were going to say sorry, not sorry, which reminded me today I heard someone use that in real life. I almost threw up.
Oh, that's a problem.
thank God I didn't make you blow chunks.
Here's how I will argue that it's a hangover movie, is because if it's a hangover that's bad enough, and this is the first movie you put on, like while you're trying to deal with just laying on the couch with a Gatorade, you can kind of fall asleep at about 20 minutes, and that's before the creepitude kicks in. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of just enjoy the chemistry of the two of them, and then before anything Stockholm-y goes on,
If you're in need of a real rage ache, fine.
Rage ache.
See, that's the thing. Is the chemistry. Russell and Hawn make this movie.
That's
I
will
what it
say
is.
their chemistry is undeniable. The circumstances is deplorable.
It sucks. They
It's just-
Another word ruined by 2017.
it's just amazing that it's like this fucking passed the mustard. Nobody was like, Gare.
This is
is
Roddy
creepy as
McDowall's
fuck.
dream. This is his baby.
Do you think that's why he was dumping so much money into it?
You know what? You know who wrote this movie? Speaking of movies,
Uh-oh.
Adolf Hitler.
Steve Bannon.
Steve Mnuchin.
it's a.
It's written by a woman.
It is written by a woman. So then you're like, oh, okay. So that's kind of like takes some of the stink off it, right? Which it kind of does.
Also, like every woman I know loves this movie.
It is written by a woman named Leslie Dixon,
Right.
who has also written movies called Mrs. Doubtfire.
Wow.
Oh, I'm seeing a fucking trend.
Totally. She loves stories about trickery.
Exactly.
Problematic trickery.
Criminal trickery.
Just Like
Beloved.
Heaven, which is a very weird
Also
movie.
very weird.
That'll
Is that Warren Beatty movie?
No, that's the fucking
Reese
Reese
Witherspoon.
Witherspoon.
Oh, where someone's a ghost.
She's a ghost and
Mark Ruffalo.
and Hulk
She's
is
a
like in love
It's
with her.
a stay tuned.
Oh, and you got John Heater farting through that
dude,
movie.
We've got a 4-timer here. She's done the movie we just did, which is Overboard.
Yeah.
She's done Mrs. Doubtfire.
Uh-huh.
She also wrote Look Who's Talking Now.
Wow, what are the
God.
odds?
And Eric Siska favorite Loverboy.
Oh my goodness.
Whoa.
Loverboy is also another like
That's another trickery
we're
movie.
gonna fuck people for money.
It is.
Weird.
Yeah.
How about
Leslie
that?
Dixon.
A lot of criminal sexual trickery.
Weird lady. Hey, weird lady.
Well, I mean, she pulled it off. Mm-hmm. Maybe that was the big con on the world.
Maybe she tried to sell them all as thrillers.
Oh.
And then she was like, no, let me rejigger it here a little bit. And boom, comedies.
Oh, that's what it might have been. She was like, here's this bone-chilling thriller I wrote called Overboard.
And look who's talking now.
Yeah, also a bone-chilling movie in its own right. Well, it's like you take the talking dogs out, and that's still like a bone-chilling story.
sure.
Yeah. Mrs. Doubtfire, clearly bone-chilling.
So take out those dogs, swap in some Kurt Russells. Kurt Russell Terriers.
That's Overboard from 1987, directed by the late, great Garry Marshall. If you want more We Hate Movies, check out WHMPodcast.com or find us over at the HeadGum Network. Like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. We are at WHM Podcast, and right into that mailbag. We all hate movies at gmail.com.
I do want to take a second. We've
Yeah.
had a great listener request month, which is now
Sure.
coming to a close.
Adios, listener request month.
We've also had a great one on Patreon as well.
yes, we have.
We did. We went back to Pokemon Country. That was an uncomfortable episode.
Bone-chilling as ever,
also-
Pokemon.
We saw what Voyager looks like. We looked at what Deep Space Nine looks like. People are loving subbing the Patreon, man. You're missing a lot of good content.
There is like over 7 hours of like the Nexus now of us talking Star Trek.
Totally.
And that's not, you know, if you don't like Star Trek, that's okay. There's more to it than that. You know, it's the classic.
There are diatribes upon diatribes.
The chemistry of me and Chris Cabin of which one fell off a boat? That's on there.
It's also
Animation Damnation, as Steve was saying. We started with Super Mario Brothers on there. And keep on going strong.
A lot of good cartoons on there. We just did the Takementary, which is available to you for free. We did the Turtlementary, which is available to you for free once you sign up.
Yep.
And you will we'll have another one in spring.
Probably going to announce that commentary pretty soon.
Absolutely. So it's a good time to get on the Patreon if you haven't already.
Patreon.com/We Hate Movies. Now, next week on the program, we're back to our curated programming with what?
It's a little Chuck Norris vehicle.
Ooh, with Jonathan. Oh, not Jonathan Banks. What was his name?
Brandis. It's Sidekicks. The long-awaited episode on Sidekicks. This one's been getting requested for, I think going on 7 years.
I watched this movie at least 100 times.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's
at least 100.
Just that good.
Oh, man. So until next week, where we're spin-kicking till the cows come home, I'm Andrew Jupin.
Steven Zeta.
Chris Cabin.
Eric Siska.
Take it easy.
That was a HeadGum podcast.